Welcome to the Big Play Cleveland show alongside Chris McNeil, and we've got Dave, Big Play Dave,
What's
OG,
up?
in the house. I'm Gabriella Cruz, and I don't know if it's coincidence we're all back in black, a little bit of mourning again about our brownies, so we'll have to get into it. McNeil, we're also mourning McNeil's Twitter, to be honest. He's been in Twitter jail for over a week now, and I don't know about you, but I'm shooketh.
Yeah, I'm still in jail right now. Still no word from Elon. So I'm working the back channels here, even all the way up to the governor of Ohio. So we'll see what I can do on that. But I'm also wearing black. We're in the Crew today.
There you go.
Crew. Crew's got a big matchup this upcoming weekend for the MLS Cup against LA after a thrilling comeback in the Hell is Real match against Cincinnati. Down 2-0, Dave, at halftime.
So they're in the finals.
Yeah. Surprising.
I got to become a soccer fan.
There you go.
Yeah, I need to get more into it. When did you get
Cucho,
into
Ramirez, everybody on the team. It's great.
Have you always been
Cucho,
soccer?
Ramirez.
I'll
Got
be
it.
down there in Columbus. You know, when they came in 1996, it was a big deal for the city, and they played at that kind of old, dilapidated stadium. Now they've moved to the Death Star down there at lower.com.
I've heard it's incredible.
It is. It's a great venue to watch.
We've been talking about doing a field trip there for a very long time.
It's a lot.
Might not be for the finals, but maybe next year.
Yeah, and it's a great time, and the fans are so passionate. You got the Nordeca there, which is kind of like their dog pound. They really get into it. You get the feel that you're actually in Europe or in a European game where you're right there in Columbus, Ohio. So it's a great feel. So I'm happy for the Crew. Really excited about Saturday.
Awesome. And where can people find you now at your new Twitter, just so the people at home know?
It's reflog_18_. You get the extra underscore in there.
I'm very proud of you. For
Gab,
cranking out
over under how many emails Chris has sent to Twitter over the last week?
at least 6.
Yes,
5,
at least
maybe
one
6.
per day. Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, I really still appreciate all your meme material, though. You know, I'm a big fan.
Keep cranking them out there, even if it's on Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
Threads, even. Look
Oh
at that.
really? You're still on Threads? Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if people did we cover this last week? You didn't do anything egregious. Like this is just kind of out of the blue. If anyone needs
is.
closure, because I did. That was the first thing I asked Chris. I was like, I need closure. What happened? Also, I don't want to accidentally do this.
No tweets that were too hot. Nothing that got me into hot water. No other problems. And so just no word right now.
Just temporarily
Stay
restricted.
tuned.
Yeah.
Reflog will be back.
The TV audience is like, what the heck are they talking
That's
about?
exactly
Yeah,
right.
that's so true. Get on Twitter. You'll know what we're talking about. All right. Well, we're going to bring in Nick Padone. He's in L.A., actually, so David's taking his place here. But
Wow.
first, we will take a break. I know. He just gets to go on vacation.
Is that called like on assignment in TV and radio?
Yeah, he is on assignment.
He's on assignment?
I don't
Is he
know
on
if that's the
vacation?
verbiage. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
we
We
could
can go
ask
with
him.
that.
Now,
On
on his
assignment.
last trip, he was on assignment for us. He went 3-0. 0-1 in L.A. We'll have to catch up with him here.
Yeah.
Find out what happened.
Yeah. All right. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with Nick right after this. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland show. We are joined by Chris McNeil, Dave, Big Play Dave in studio, and we are bringing in Nick Padone from LA for our featured hard Lipton iced tea featured interview. All
Tea
right.
time with Nick.
Yes, I love it. Nick, how's it going?
What's up, guys? I'm joining you from the back of a white Dodge Caravan heading to LAX. I'm upset that the Browns couldn't get it done for us yesterday, 0-1 in LA, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back to you guys. I'm coming back to Burke Lakefront Airport. Excited to get the hell out of here.
What was your experience like out there? You know what's funny is I have some friends who work for the Browns who had just the funniest stories in LA. From the Uber drivers they got to the people that they met. I was like,
Sure.
I'm sorry. My friend was like, this feels like a huge fever dream. I'm like, what was yours?
It is. The Uber drivers out here are unreal. We are in a good one right now. My guy right now is taking good care of us, but
Give him a shout out. What's his name?
A few instances of, not sure. I didn't call it, but
Okay.
So
What a
we-
big
we-
time shot.
we had a few instances of, like the one lady, she couldn't figure out her GPS and it kept going like upside down. And she was like, I don't know where I'm supposed to take you guys. I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm not from here. So I like threw it into my Apple Maps and I was like helping her co-navigate. because the roads out here are crazy. You know, people just zip around. So yeah, definitely a lot of interesting Uber experiences. We had one where one of my buddies that's with us, you know, had just like nothing but rubbish all near his seats, and we were trying not, like, or all around his feet. We were trying not to laugh too hard. So
Hey, Nick,
definitely a
ask
different way of
that
life
Uber
out there on
driver if
that.
he has Wi-Fi.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
Hey, now take us
Yes.
inside the stadium there, Nick. What was it like inside SoFi Stadium? I know that you did a tour beforehand. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it's beautiful. The tour was absolutely beautiful, and we'll have a little bit of a package that we'll show on next week's Big Play Cleveland show. We got to go on the field. The screen, the infinity screen, is unbelievable. You know, I've been in some cool stadiums. I've been to Lucas Oil just this year. That's a really cool one. The Mercedes-Benz Superdome in Atlanta is really nice as well. But this is just bar none. Like, for football, I'm sure for other events too. They said Taylor Swift was here like 5 nights. It is really something to behold. Like, and honestly, like, you just have to see it. They had to build it down. It sits 100 feet into the ground because the FAA wouldn't let them build up because it's so close to the airport. So you're literally watching the game like in 100-foot hole in the ground. It's really cool, and it's definitely something to behold.
So now take us on the field. What did you see there from the Cleveland Browns yesterday? Unfortunately, come away with a loss. What was it like in person?
I mean, hey, Joe Flacco looked like a competent NFL QB. Like, we got the best quarterback play that we had this entire season, arguably, out of Joe Flacco, sans that one interception late that ultimately cost the Browns the game. That's the most disappointing thing, right? But really, it was good. They just couldn't get out of their own way. It was just one of those situations. The penalties came at the worst time. The interception really came at the worst time. There was a mixed extra point. It was everything that a Browns loss usually is. As disappointing as that is to say, it truly had everything. But I think they stick with Joe Flacco. At 7-5, you're still in it. You had big losses around the AFC. That Steelers loss certainly helps. So I think you probably have to stick with the vet at this point. He looked good, and you got to just you got to win against Jacksonville now.
How about on the defensive side of the ball? We've seen this defense be just dominant at home. On the road, they've struggled again yesterday. Is there anything different that you see out there from our defensive unit?
Denzel Ward, like, it boggles my mind that there's still people that don't understand just how good and just how important Denzel Ward is to this defense, because that secondary is just breakdown express. Like, I know they like to say that they have a group of cornerback ones. I'm sorry, guys, and I love them. You know, I know we all do. Greg Newsome's not a cornerback one. Martin Emerson is not a cornerback one yet. They're still very young players. You need Denzel Ward out there to be your lockdown guy. And then that D-line just wasn't getting pushed on Sunday against the Rams. They just weren't. Myles Garrett was not effective. I don't know if that shoulder is still messing with them. The interior wasn't effective. Zadarius Smith wasn't effective. Obviously, 0 sacks against the Rams. That's not going to work against Trevor Lawrence. If you give Trevor Lawrence with those weapons, Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne, if you give them all day to throw and all day to operate, they're going to carve you up. And it's going to be a very similar story to what we saw on Sunday. So they have to figure that out. And if it means getting Denzel Ward healthy, then that's what it's going to have to be, because they are shorthanded and they need to be better defensively if they want any chance of keeping their playoff positioning alive.
Nick, where do you rank the defense now? They were number 1. Statistically, they're going to drop. But, like, looking at this entire season and the trajectory of them, where do you put them right now?
I still think you have to have them in the top 5, just because when they're at full strength, we know just how dominant they can be and what a weapon they can be. Like, look, we're just 1 week removed from that awesome game that Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah had against the Denver Broncos. Like, we've seen it work. I'm not ready to say that this defense isn't elite anymore. It's not any good. Maybe we were way too soon to put the historic label on there. You know, we were comparing them to the, Chicago Bears of old. I don't know that they're that good, but I think they still are very good when they're at full strength. But now it's just getting those guys back to fuller strength. Myles Garrett has to continue to rehab this shoulder if he's going to continue to push through this thing. Denzel Ward needs to get back on the field. It was Anthony Walker's first game back. So they gotta get the horses back. But I think when they're at full strength, they're still really good, still top 5.
All right, let's talk about a positive though. Joe Flacco, you mentioned him earlier. Nick,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Best quarterback play we've seen this year. Should I buy a Joe Flacco jersey? What's the shelf life for a Joe Flacco jersey right now? And do you think it's higher?
Popping up
Is it
Christmas
higher or
lists all
lower?
around Cleveland right now?
Is it higher or lower than the average if you were to buy a Browns jersey back throughout the last 20 years? Chris, what do you think the average is?
How many Flacco jerseys do you think were bought in the first 3 quarters of that game?
If he hadn't thrown that interception, more.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not that far removed from Cyber Monday, so people still getting their Christmas presents.
Yeah.
My dad did text me after the end of that first quarter, and he said, I want a Joe Flacco jersey for Christmas.
My dad did one.
one.
Nick, I hate to one-up your dad. My dad was calling for a Flacco statue by the.
Wow.
He went on this monologue that turned into, oh my, he's gonna win us the division. We're gonna go to the Super Bowl, and then we're gonna build a Flacco statue.
I mean, hey, it's fun to joke about, right? But other teams consistently find lightning in a bottle with backup veteran quarterbacks. There is a statue that exists of Nick Foles in Philadelphia. That's right. Nick Foles has a statue in Philadelphia. Wow. I mean, Joe Flacco is going to be the closest thing that the Browns could get to that. I don't know if that means that it's a layup that he could take them on a magical playoff run. I don't know that the jersey has any more shelf life than the 6 games that he's going to give the Browns here, but I definitely think he gives them the best chance to win right now, and I think that's what they're in the market to do, especially when you factor in the big picture view of, yes, Deshaun Watson is still making all of that money. Yes, you still don't have your first-round pick this year because it's in the possession of the Houston Texans from that trade, and I think they're going to try to keep winning games. They're not throwing in the towel here at 7-5, and I think Joe Flacco probably gives them the best opportunity to do that. So get the jerseys.
Get that jersey, Dave.
Did you get a good look at the Juan Thornhill flop? And was that Oscar worthy?
It was. He had a rough game. The whole secondary had a rough game, and the Juan Thornhill flop was kind of the bow on all of it. It was just bad.
The defense in general was bad.
Was Grant Delpit out there?
Yes.
He was.
Okay.
He was out there.
He's a guy.
Cardio, though.
When we play really well on defense, he's a guy we end up mentioning a whole lot. He didn't show up much in the box score, and I didn't see him much on the telecast.
No, it was, and the same story goes for Miles too. That was the first game, according to ESPN stats and information. That was the first game of Myles Garrett's career, and he's in year 6 now, 7. That he did not record a statistic, not a sack for Miles, not a tackle for Miles, nothing. He did not record a single statistic, and I think that just goes to show early in the year when the Browns, they were really riding their magic. It was because they were riding the defense. They were relying on that defense so much, and I hope that they're not all so banged up and also gassed just from being on the field so much. And again, we're going to need them on Sunday against Jacksonville.
Nick, is there any truth to the rumor that you're out there doing a Connor Stallions for the MLS Cup for the Crew right now, checking out L.A.?
I do. I want to be in Columbus on Saturday, and I think I probably will be in Columbus on Saturday. So no truth to if I was wearing sunglasses, a hat, grew out a mustache and a beard, and was filming the Los Angeles Galaxy sidelines, but I am very excited for the Crew in this MLS Cup here. That's going to be big for Columbus come Saturday. The Super Bowl of soccer right here in Ohio.
Good stuff.
Nick, really quick, I want a little more positive. Did you have any really good food, or what was the weather like? That kind of thing. I mean,
a ton of good food, and there is a ton of positivity, and we'll probably get into it in the show next week. The tour was a lot of fun. Like, the stadium is beautiful. Just hanging out in California, like, we were all joking, admittedly, on that walk back from the stadium. Like, yeah, this is a little bit easier to do in 60 degrees than 20. Some of those sad Browns walks that have been taken from that stadium throughout my short time on this planet. So definitely not all lost, Gab. We had a lot of similar eats to what you and I had when we were in Arizona
Ooh,
for
yeah.
spring training. A lot of good sushi, a lot of good tacos,
Oh,
all the
yeah.
favorites. So it was a great time out here in LA. I'm excited to get back. I'm sure the team is excited to get back as well. Remember, they came here straight from Denver, so they've been out of it for a really long time. So I think it'll be nice for everybody to get back on that East Coast time zone, get back in their normal rhythm, and prepare for a regular work of week with the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up here.
Now, I heard yesterday they asked Stefanski whether that week was a good idea or a bad idea in retrospect, and he kind of said, well, I don't look at it in terms of wins and losses. I think it was what it was. What is your take on that week that they spent out in L.A.?
I still think it's a good idea. I think it just logistically, the travel doesn't make sense to have your body thrown off twice for no reason when you have the, resources to just hang out in LA. And of course, on the field, the results weren't there. But I think off the field, some of the things that go on behind the scenes, the team building, that sort of thing. We saw on Isaiah McGuire's Instagram story, my guy Browns with Noah put it out there. I think they racked up like a $40,000 rookie dinner out here in LA that the rookies had to split defensively. So I think that sort of thing is really the value of, team trips. And you see it a lot more in basketball and baseball than you do football. But I think that ultimately it was a good idea. And I know that question had to be asked to Kevin after the game, but I still think it was a good idea to hang out here.
For you, any celebrity sightings?
Good question.
None. A couple of the local Cleveland influencer scene, and we'll leave it there. We did hit a comedy show, and we saw Trevor Wallace, who is a comedian, TikToker, and there were a couple TikTok celebs in the audience with us. But that was about it as far as the celebrity sightseeing went.
All right.
You weren't hanging with LeBron out there?
No, I saw he was there. I was surprised that they didn't put LeBron on that massive infinity screen. They showed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They showed a few other celebs. I was surprised. No love for LeBron out here in LA. That. Just saying. Come home.
Just saying.
I'll
love for that internet connection either.
I'll kick Cam off this plane if it means bringing LeBron back.
Oh, man. All right. Well, should we take a break? Do you have to go? You're probably close to the airport.
Yeah, I'm heading into the airport now.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks for penciling us in on your crazy journey.
Travel safely, Nick.
For sure. Hopefully the connection wasn't too bad, and I'll see you guys at Burke here in the coming days.
You made it.
There's a direct flight from there to Burke, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is. I'm not on it, though.
See you, Nick. See you
All
soon.
right. Later, guys. See ya.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland show. Fun to catch up with Nick. I feel FOMO, though, you guys. I wish we could have gone to Cali.
Not a fan of LA.
No? Well,
Have you been?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been out there.
That's not great. A lot of traffic, kind of spread out.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I've been to LA once. It was kind of a while ago. I do remember having a similar reaction that it wasn't as grand as I had hoped for.
Good weekend trip.
But it's great weather and the food and just stuff to do and
See, I'm a Midwest guy. Just keep me in the Midwest. I don't really need to go out to the coast like that. We went to New Jersey not too long ago. That was enough for me. We got kicked off of one ferry.
Right.
That was good. I don't need to cause problems on both coasts here.
That's right.
Twitter jail and real jail for you.
By the way, one other positive we didn't even talk about, Chris, we've talked about this guy for a long time, Elijah Moore.
Yes.
He looked good. Joe Flacco and him had chemistry. If Joe, and we also didn't talk about this, I like talking about positives, but negative, father time with Joe Flacco on the deep ball. I was hoping it was just that LA wind. I don't know if it was.
Oh, yeah.
Elijah Moore, though, when he ran deep, and if Joe Flacco hit him, touchdown all day. Still had a really good game.
So Elijah Moore, 4 receptions, 83 yards, long of 42. He looked like he was into the offense. You're absolutely right. Another thing that we've talked about in the past, and really when Baker was here, was Baker would have his best games, and it seemed like we would move the ball the best when we moved the ball around to different receivers. And we would count how many different receivers, we'd get into the passing attack. And at that time, we'd look at, if he was hitting up 7 receivers, if he was hitting up 8 receivers, we're probably clicking. Yesterday, Joe Flacco hit up 9 different receivers. He was really moving the ball.
Do you remember
around.
way back in the day we always talked about that with Baker Mayfield?
That's what I was just saying. Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely. We used to keep track of that on the Browns postgame show.
I'm gonna have to now keep track of that because you brought it to the forefront of my consciousness. Okay.
It's a good stat because it
Yeah.
shows that we're really kind of mixing it up. We're trying to give defenses different looks with different players, and especially when you don't have that one player you're constantly, who's way and above the talent level of anybody else on the roster. If you can move it around, because I think we've got a lot of good players on offense. If we can move the ball around a lot, it doesn't let the defense just key in on one person and allows us to move it.
What are your predictions? Because we want to make the playoffs, obviously, for the wins that we will get the rest of this schedule.
The number of wins we'll need to go to the playoffs.
So Jacksonville, Chicago, Houston, the Jets, ending with the Bengals.
So we've got a total of 5 games left.
Yes.
And they put up a graphic this week on the actual show, the Browns game. And it was the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals. And you looked at those records. I think ours is the easiest.
And it did. And we had like a 75% chance of making the playoffs. And I was surprised it was that high.
I think it's
maybe down now.
Really? Because I thought it was 88 when I was just yesterday.
I think
at
it may
some
still
point.
be in the 70s. We could pull this. But
that's still pretty good.
We were up there. Then you had the Pittsburgh just behind us. And then you had the Bengals at like less than 5%. But yeah, with 5 games left, you got Jacksonville, you got Chicago, go to Houston, you got the Jets at home, then you finish off with that Cincinnati team. I think, Dave, you got to win at least 4 of those games.
Really?
I mean, really. I think so.
Oof,
I think so.
tough.
To guarantee yourself a spot.
To guarantee.
Yeah, because you're looking at a Jacksonville team you got to beat. You're looking at a Houston team you're going to have to beat. You're looking at, the Jets you're gonna want to beat them. But I'm talking in terms of playoff seeding. You've got to make sure that you take care of Jacksonville and really Houston's on the come.
Houston's going to be tough.
That's going to be a tough game.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, especially with C.J. Stroud, how he's been playing. They're a motivated team. Now they're in that playoff picture. So you're going to have to eliminate teams like that if you expect to make it over them.
And on the road. But we've done it before. I mean, Ravens was a big win for us.
Hopefully our defense shows up. I'm kind of banging the drum that our defense seems to play really well at home. And then you get on the road. Conventional thinking is that defense travels and offense doesn't as well. In our case, the defense isn't traveling very well.
So which of those 5 are we going to win?
Yeah, call it out.
Let's hear it, Chris.
Okay, Jacksonville's going to be tough. Jacksonville's going to be really tough, I think, this week. You're going to beat Chicago. I think you're going to beat the Jets. You're going to beat Cincinnati. So I need to find
3.
Another win out of those other 2. So you're going to beat either Jacksonville or Houston. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I think we need to get the taste out of our mouths. So maybe you drop that one on the road to Houston. You get 4 wins. You're into the playoffs right there.
How about a sack on Sunshine?
A sack on Sunshine.
Wouldn't that be nice? Get at least a sack in that Jacksonville game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You almost have to.
Oh, yeah.
They need a huge rebound game
against
the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and I think so, especially with that front. You got to get after them. You're going to have to get Myles Garrett into the fold and really applying that pressure once again because he's been the key. And I know he's banged up as he's been the last couple of seasons, and that shoulder's in bad shape. But he's really the spiritual leader of this team and, the de facto, the real leader of this team physically on this field. So if he's not there, this team just doesn't have the same gumption on the defensive side of the ball.
Are you going to the Jacksonville game?
I am not. I was offered a ticket. I will not be going to see the Fighting Trevor Lawrences on Sunday. But hopefully we take him down in his beautiful hair as well.
There you go.
The Fighting Trevor Lawrences. That's cute. Should we do a little fill in the blank, fellas?
I think that's a great idea.
All right. Hit it. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland show. We're going to do a little fill in the blank here. Should I check in with Ryan? How much time do we have here?
We're at 24 minutes.
Okay, so we're still clicking down. All right, Chris. Florida State not making the college football playoff is
absolutely correct. I think they got it right here. I thought. Florida State, the best team they played, had 3 losses this year. They're missing their QB, Jordan Travis. So I think they're really looking, the committee that is really looking for the 4 best teams. As much as I hate to say it, because I really would have loved to exclude an SEC team in this case. But I think Bama was there. Bama got their work done against Georgia. So I think you couldn't exclude them based upon their resume over the course of the year. And I thought also the committee kind of threw out the conventions because, going by the book would say Florida State, having won their conference, being undefeated from a Power 5 conference, they should have been in there. And the committee said, yeah, but Alabama's done enough to get in there. I think they were right. Once again, I would have liked to have seen Alabama, Nick Saban, the SEC excluded. In this case, they weren't, and I think the committee got it right.
So put yourself in OSU fandom shoes.
I'm here.
There you are. If this was OSU, would your feeling be the same?
Of course not. No, I'm a hypocrite, Dave. On no levels would I have been okay with it. Yes, if we win the Big Ten and go undefeated and then don't go to the college football playoff.
Insane.
That would be insane. That would be completely crazy. Would never happen. I mean, the Big Ten's been down. The Big Ten's never been that far down.
Right.
And I hope that the Big Ten is never that far down where we were looking at an undefeated team that doesn't make it. Yeah, I would be crying from the rafters right now if I'm Florida State and they're talking about lawsuits and how unfair this is. On the flip side of that, our Big Ten, the Big Ten team that did make it in, Michigan, being the number one, did you see the reaction in the room when they learned that they'd be playing Alabama?
Oh, they were scared.
They wanted Florida State.
Yeah.
They wanted Florida State. That was not a celebratory room at that moment. They were going, oh boy, we've got the big dogs. We got to take down the big ones rather than taking on a Florida State team that I think was probably mid of the Big Ten. Honestly, look at it versus an Alabama that's really a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next. If I had to pick someone to root for in the playoff, it would be.
Ooh.
I got to go Texas here.
Really?
Yeah. So
Michigan,
it's not going to be
Washington,
Michigan.
Texas,
Cam's
Alabama.
Not going to be Alabama.
What about Washington?
Washington, that's okay.
No?
That'd be my second.
I'll go Washington on that.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking you got Texas, you got Quinn Ewers, kind of getting the Joe Burrow Award, having come from Ohio State, learned all those skills, went down to LSU and then won. Same thing for Quinn Ewers. He got to sit there, learn all of the secrets, all of the tricks of the trade from the Ohio State University, goes to Texas, and I wish him well. So there's my thinking behind Texas.
All right, I like that. I like Washington in this because on the betting show, Ryan knows this as well. We've always been rooting for the other team because we're like, hey, does Washington really have it? I don't know. They've proven that they know what they're doing, that they can go out and win. I would love to see them win this out of these four.
Hanford would be so disappointed in you two.
You can't root for Alabama.
Yeah. Sorry, Hanford.
Come on.
Even if you are the top dog, I can't go for Bama.
I can just hear him in my ear right now. Okay, the college football transfer portal is
good for Ohio State.
We saw that Kyle McCord entered.
Yeah, Kyle McCord has just recently entered. We found out this week. I think ultimately it's free agency for college football. So that means the rich are going to get richer. And guess what? Ohio State is one of the rich. So it may hurt teams in the MAC. You're not going to see that. You're going to see the talent, the top of the line talent that flows out of conferences like the MAC or from other schools where they're playing behind people, and they'll flow to teams like the Ohio State University.
So do you think it'll be like college basketball where you have a really good player for 1 year and then you just know he's gone? Won't be going to the NBA, but he'll be going to an elite program?
I don't think it'll be exactly like college basketball. I think it'll be kind of a mix between the two because it gets more specialized in college football for the players. You got to fit into a system with a coach. I think there's more of a relationship there. That's why it's so wild with Kyle McCord now going into the portal because he was recruited by Ryan Day. He was really one of those first guys that Ryan Day has really brought up. So to see that guy go really was kind of a surprise. And I think you'd see that more and more in college football where those relationships are more important. Whereas in basketball, you can kind of play for different teams with the same skills a lot easier than what you would in football.
So you don't see a Red Hawk, Miami of Ohio quarterback looking all right and then getting the nod to go play for Bama.
Hey, if you've got a Ben Roethlisberger on there, although we're not big fans of Ben Roethlisberger after Miami, I'm not sure what happened to him, but you got him in school and he's playing really well. Yep. That is a possibility.
There we go.
My excitement level for the Buckeyes facing Missouri in the Cotton Bowl is.
Oh, Chris, I saw that graphic show up on Twitter, and I was just like, oh, no.
Yeah.
This is worse than I thought.
For me, it's like preseason football level. It really is. It kind of starts off the next season for me. I really because I think that most of the top end players could be sitting out. You could see Marv sitting out. You could see Travion sitting out. Who knows? I know we're going to be tested at quarterback there.
Don't you absolutely sit out if you're one of them? Yeah, you don't play this game. There's no way.
Absolutely. You're really looking at the talent for next year now. And that's what the bowl season has become. It's not about a nice cap to this season. You know, it used to be the Rose Bowl. You're taking on the Pac-10. You're going, hey, you know, this is a nice way to finish it. You have a nice story at the end. Now it's really preseason for next year. You're seeing what the talent is that's coming along. You're seeing what you've got in the pipeline right now. So for me, I treat it more as a preseason game. It'll be fun, pop a few brews, watch the game. But in terms of actually, hey, I got to win this game, now we can put a few dollars on it in Ohio now, which will make it a little bit more engaging. But outside of that, it's just going to be a normal game.
Would you have rather played FSU, Georgia, Oregon?
I think if you're outside of that college football playoff,
Who cares?
It doesn't really change much for me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
The only bowl game that really matters is Miami of Ohio anyway. Did you see
right.
we made a bowl this year?
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, so we're playing App State. Let's see if we can take down App State, something that team up north could not do so many years ago.
So if Miami beats Appalachian State, they're technically better than Michigan.
That's right. Transitive property of football over the years in this case.
Correct.
College football math. All right, we've got to take one more break, and we'll be back with, well, actually, we've got to take a few more breaks, but we'll be back with some big play bets right.
All right, welcome back to Big Play Bets. Get in there with Tipico. They let you bet on all the biggest sporting events all year round. Cavs, Browns, Buckeyes.
Still got the bowl game, Dave.
That's right. With Tipico, you can bet traditional lines like spreads and totals, but they also have many cool player props, future game parlays, futures, big play boosts in that app that we create on this show. Get in there, go check out Tipico, get in on those big play boosts, bet along with the show crew, deposit, bet $25, go get $100 on us. Must be 21, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's look at some bets for this week.
Can I tell a story before we get into it?
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
So I did another emotional hedge over the weekend.
I was hoping you would say
on
something
Saturday,
like this.
Yeah. So I wanted to will our Ohio State Buckeyes into, the college football playoff. So I went in, did a 3-team parlay.
Okay.
I wanted to see Alabama, Florida State, Texas all lose.
Yep.
Right? So I bet for them all with my hard-earned cash for all of them to win with the emotional hedge, figuring, okay, if I bet on them, it's going to go the other way.
Yeah.
Well, we all know what happens. I ended up winning out of that, even though I was upset about the Buckeyes.
There you go.
The emotional hedge did land because I at least got some money out of the deal.
All right, great.
Yeah.
How much?
Gab, how's your betting been?
It's pretty mid if I don't if I don't say so myself. I was on I won like a 9-leg parlay. This was a week ago or something.
That's
yeah.
huge.
Only for like $80. A lot of people are like,
Well, how much did you bet? Like 60 cents?
Yeah.
no, I did bet $10.
Okay.
Wow.
So 10 for 80.
Okay.
So I'm not like very masterful, as you guys know. Not as good as you guys, but
Still a W. A W's a W.
yeah, I took a break though because I know myself, and I know that. Speaking of emotional betting, I know that if I get a big win, sometimes I'll want to go immediately bet on tennis, and that doesn't make sense. So I refrained, and so I put myself in timeout. And yeah, I'll come out of it soon. But I know that if anything good happens to me, I can't do anything else after that.
That's fair.
Because that I will be messing with the juju.
Yes, that's fair. I also recommend Georges Niang bets.
Oh yeah.
Over.
Yes.
Over on George. Ryan knows what I'm talking about.
The minivan.
The
I saw you were
minivan.
very excited on
Very
Tuesday.
excited.
You were.
Yeah,
you,
that was
you
fun.
both were in attendance there at the
It's one
Cavs
of
game.
the best bets you can make because, like, literally all he has to do is get like 6 to 8 points the entire game.
Yeah. And he's so
Highly
entertaining.
recommend. Yes.
He's the everyman. I mean, how can you
yeah.
not pull for him?
Right. Doesn't look like he should be out there, but he's out there.
YMCA guy out there. He should have rec specs. I mean, if you're really going to
Yes.
complete the look. But, man, he is the everyman. It's so fun to root for.
It is. All right, let's get into this week. So we've got Jaguars -3 at the Browns. Over-under in this one is 37.5. Let's start there. Chris, What are you thinking about this game? And I know it's going to be very dependent on our defense.
It will be, and we're going to be playing at home, of course, on Sunday. So we're going to have them back here. We play a little bit better at home on defense, and the crowd gets into it. We saw the crowd kind of will us to victory over the Steelers. That was a big emotional game. You had Jim Donovan in attendance, back in the booth. You had Nick Chubb coming out on the field. So hopefully you can capture a little bit of that from the crowd. Kind of will this team, because I think they need an energy burst. They need a boost in a big way. Coming back from the West Coast, being out there for a week, you said you could take or leave California. They were out there all week, so I'm sure they can use to get back to the Midwest. I don't know. I'm very reticent about putting too much faith in the Browns in this one. I really think Jacksonville is going to be tough.
Yeah.
I really think that they've been inconsistent. The Browns have been. I think Jacksonville's kind of on the rise. But having said that, we know the Cleveland Browns. Right when we count them out, they come and they do something. It's the constant roller coaster ride that is being a Cleveland Browns fan. Yeah. So I could see them rising to the occasion. Stefanski getting them going. Hopefully the receiving core, not as many drops. They can work with Flacco, get that offense moving. We run the ball a little bit, and then all of a sudden, you have the complementary offense to defense. The defense kicks in for us.
I'm on Flacco statue.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Over on Flacco.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's build a big play boost.
Yeah.
So I was going to do that, and then I got too nervous to do it. Flacco was like 199 over in yardage last week. I would assume it's going to be a tick above that. So if
he went for 250 last week.
Yeah, he crushed it.
Yeah.
Let's see. So if we're building a big play boost for this week, I would say we go over on Flacco passing yards.
Yep.
There's number one.
All right.
I'm happy with
that. Number two, we've talked about it a few times. Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Got to get him back on track.
Yes.
Does he record a sack this week? I think we bet on that.
Yep.
Give him a sack. We've tried that in the past. We've kind of willed that before.
Got a week to heal up.
All right. Yeah. That's it makes me a little nervous just from what we just saw, but okay, I'm with you.
Now, how about the running game? Is there anybody you like in the running game? Because, everybody's been calling for Stefanski to run the ball more and see more consistency. Certainly, if we could get a 100-yard rusher, that would really help us out, but we haven't been anywhere near there in the last couple of weeks.
I don't know what the science is in who he decides is going to run.
Yeah.
It's like Kareem Hunt will be out there for like 5 series in a row. You won't see Jerome Ford for half the game, it seems.
And then you have Pierre Strong.
And then Strong looked good.
He did yesterday.
Yeah.
The week before, you only run him in a double reverse situation.
Not ideal.
No, but then yesterday, they rush him a couple of times, gets 20 yards,
yeah.
right? Averaging 10 yards a carry. So,
do we possibly look at a Strong over on rushing? That has to be incredibly low.
You and I are on the same page. So
yes.
I had written down in my pregame notes, I said, Pierre Strong, 30 yards, 25 yards. He rushed for 20 yesterday. I don't know what he did the week before, but I don't know, 50, somewhere in there. I don't know what the over-under would be, but he is technically, our third back. So I don't know how much you expect out of our third back.
Yeah, this one stresses me out a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
let's just throw in just a substitute if we need it.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go Strong over. If it's over 25, I'm going to get real nervous about that.
20 yards last week. All he needed was the ball one more time. Then he would have had 30 because that's the way averages work, right? He was averaging 10 per.
What if we did no interceptions for Joe Flacco?
Ooh.
Oh.
So eliminate the big mistake.
Eliminate the big mistake. The father time deep ball.
But then you're going 2 legs on Flacco. Flacco over passing yards and no interception. Then the Myles Garrett. So you're saying go those 3 legs.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I'm more confident in that one.
Browns money line. All right, let's go with those 3 legs.
We're all over the place.
I like how we won't even go Browns money line.
No, I hate Browns money line. It's the worst bet you can make as a Browns fan. You can't do it, you jinx it.
You take a good bet and you just jinx the heck out of it.
Do we want to give a little confidence to Dustin Hopkins?
Oh, that's a good one.
Maybe over
yes,
under on
one.
field goals made.
How about extra points made?
No, absolutely not.
100% conversion rate on extra points.
All right, we're going to brainstorm this throughout this week.
Yeah, we gotta take a break and come back. We'll revisit our bets. Stay with us. Thanks for watching. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show as we dive into our bets or continue to dive into our bets. Okay, where are we at, Dave?
All right, so we're going to go around the league real quick, and we are going to go Bills +3 at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
Over-under on this is 48. So we're going to have some points.
And I could see a lot of points being scored in this game. Boy, what do you make of the Bills?
Not much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
You talk about a roller coaster here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Same thing in Buffalo, I think, with higher expectations right now. Chiefs, big loss.
Yeah.
You know, they lose to the Packers on national TV. High-scoring affair there. Maybe the Taylor Swift, good luck. Has the mojo passed?
I don't do this. I just saw her Eras tour, and she can do no wrong in my eyes.
Wow.
Amazing, right?
Well, I mean, I saw it as a movie, not in person. But it was still captivating. No, she had nothing to do with this.
So, Gab, do we go Chiefs?
Yeah, they're going to rebound.
Okay.
Yeah, I see the Chiefs at home in Arrowhead. That's going to be a tough spot for Buffalo to go to and get a win. I'd take the Chiefs, and I'd take any points.
All right, easy enough. All
points.
right, let's go to Eagles plus 3.5 versus the Cowboys. They're looking for a shootout here. 52.5 is the over-under. Chris, who wins that game?
That's a rebound game a little bit for the Eagles. I was surprised to see what happened out there.
Yeah.
You know, after what we had done to the Niners.
42-19 they lost last week.
I don't think anybody saw that one coming. You know, I know the Niners are good, and I thought the Eagles are really the cream of the crop. I thought they were the best team in the NFL. After yesterday, you say, I don't know. Is that a bump in the road?
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to rebound? I'm going to say the rebound. I'm going to put my money there. Buy low a little bit on the Eagles after coming off a loss, and I'm going to say the Eagles are going to cover.
All right, I'm with you there.
I like that.
Yep. All right, let's move on to our Cleveland Cavaliers.
Hey.
Down to Miami, not Miami of Ohio. They're going down to Florida. That is coming up on Friday.
Miami of Ohio, however, is playing Ohio State this week
Here
in
he goes.
basketball.
There we go.
Just throwing it out there.
He goes. All right, who wins this game, Cavs or Heat?
Oh.
Cavs at Heat on Friday. I'll tell you what, I like the Cavs. I like them going down to South Beach. And maybe the Browns weren't able to get it done in sunny L.A.
Yeah.
But now the Browns are going to go down South Beach, the sun. Maybe not that much sun this time of year because I was down there this time last year, and it's warm, but not as warm as you'd expect in the middle of summer. But I think they can get it done. I really do. I think I think the entire coaching staff, JB Bickerstaff, the entire coaching staff has got to get this team kind of on track because, you know,
It helps when they're healthy.
It helps when they're healthy.
A lot
and they're
more
kinda
fun to
coming
watch
back.
on balance.
But you see kind of uneven performances here early on in the season, and I'd like to see more consistency out of the team. But I think they get it on track. They beat the Heat on Friday.
Gab?
All right. Cavs have won 7 of their last 10. They both have the same record. I'm going to bet on our Cavs, of course.
Yeah, they got a winning streak going on. They're healthy. Way more fun to watch. Let's
Yeah.
go with the Cavs.
We're doing it. Cavs. All right.
Boom.
We're taking one more break. Thanks for watching the Big Play Cleveland Show. Welcome back, and thanks for watching the Big Play Cleveland Show. Our OG founder back at the desk. Big Play Dave.
What is up?
Big play
What's
Dave.
happening? And Chris McNeil.
Been a while.
And Twitter jail Chris McNeil.
Aww.
I'm Gabriella Cruz. No, it's always fun with you guys. And Chris, all right, any big plans? We only have a minute left of the show. Anything you want to look forward to? Or plug. You did a lot of your Miami plugs.
That's right. Yeah, we've already gotten the MAC. I think we've given plenty of the love to the MAC so far. I'm going to be interested really now into the offseason for the Ohio State Buckeyes. The new news of Kyle McCord entering the transfer portal. I want to see what the Buckeyes are going to do, not only obviously this week, but then going into the offseason. We've looked in the past with the Buckeyes. When we moved on from Tressel, what did we do? We went out, we got Urban Meyer. You make a big splash. So this may be the time where the Ohio State Buckeyes are making a splash at quarterback in this case. So, you know, it's a team that almost needs to wake up out of a coma. They played really well, but then in the big games, they're not.
All right.
There we go.
That'll be our final thought because we ran out of time today. And Dave, it was great to have you back at the